Crawford. All right. Hello, hello, everybody. If you have no idea who I am, my name is Shelby Sutton. Welcome to our weekly team Zoom. If you're a sideline, welcome, welcome. We're so glad that you joined us tonight. We have a really special Zoom lined up because we are going to be interviewing two of our brand new Diamond leaders. And both of these Diamond leaders are very different, but they have two things in common, and that is that they both promoted to Diamond in 90 days or less, and they both earned the $10,000 bonus. And these are just like huge accomplishments. So I am really excited to interview you guys and get all your tips. So if you're here, if you're on this call, go ahead and take out a pen and a piece of paper or your iPad or whatever you want to do, because it's time to take some notes. Just bear with the really loud thunder and lightning in the background. That's just Florida for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. I still don't see you, Jess, but I know you're on here. So go ahead and unmute yourself. I want to start with you. Oh, I see you now. There you are. Hi, beautiful. Can you unmute yourself, or do I have to do it?
I thought I was off mute.
Hey, girl. Okay, so I'm really excited for you to share your story, or to do this little Q&A with me. I have some good questions for you, but I want you to start with just telling us a little bit about you, where you're from, how old you are, what you do. Just let us get to know you a little bit.
So I'm in Portland, Oregon. I was a software tester for like 10 years. I was with US Bank, and I got laid off, in December. And so I had started going to school for aesthetics. So I do lashes now. I'm also a personal assistant. So I have 2 jobs and I do this. So I keep myself busy. I have a 9-year-old. Yeah, Rochelle's my best friend. She introduced me to the business. I saw her comment.
Yay, I love that. And I love that you have 2 other jobs besides this, because holy cow, you have 2 jobs and you went Diamond in less than 90 days. So that's incredible. So first, that's my first question is, how long did it actually take you to go Diamond?
I think I signed up April 1st. It was the day after Rochelle went presidential, I believe. Wait, you're presidential, right, Rochelle?
Yeah, she went pres in March.
I have it in my mind she's going ambassador, so I just think she's ambassador. It was the day after so it was April 1st, and then June 31st. It was like, I don't know, 9:00 that night, and I was in Havasu with Rochelle, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drive to the store, and I hit everything, but I kept refreshing, like, when's it gonna say Diamond?
Oh man, the feeling of promoting, it's like so many emotions. Like you want to like jump out of your skin in the best way, but you want to like go cry in a closet at the same time. It's the best.
I know, and it didn't feel real until I saw it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you have to see it. Okay, so this is juicy. Not really, but it's fun. So you were already a distributor at one time. So what did you do differently from that time to this time, if anything? What did you change just because maybe you learned some things then, or maybe you just had a different attitude this time around, or what was it?
I went into it, I took quitting off the table, and I made sure that even when I had a bad day or an off day, like, it's not even an option. And I just make sure that I keep my mindset right, which I don't think I did in the beginning. It was like self-development. Okay, yeah, I'll listen here and there. And I did, but not the way you need to. You need to listen to self-development every single day. And then also I when I get ready in the morning, I watch a YouTube video. I'm always trying to learn more and figure out what I can do better, whether it's leading or, you know, what are the top incomers doing? I'm always trying to just figure out what I can do better and what I can do differently. Or if what I'm doing is what I should be doing.
All I'm hearing right now is that, or all that's like playing in my head right now is the fact that you just said, like, I'm always watching YouTube videos. I'm always, you know, I always make sure I do my self-development. And then going back to you saying that you have 2 jobs, you have a plus it works, plus you have a 9-year-old daughter, and you're still making time for not only self-development, but just like trainings and making sure you're always up to date with like the newest and the best approaches and stuff. And I love that because I mean, we hear from people time after time, like, I'm so busy, or I just don't have time to do this or to make this work. And it's like, yes, you can. You just have to, like you said, take quitting off the table and just do it. You know, like we're all busy. Sometimes, I have like a little squad of twin moms that are on my team. And anytime someone tells us they're too busy, we all just like go back to each other and we're like, someone said they're too busy. That's hilarious. Cause it's like, no, we're all busy. We all have a million things going on. But you just have to decide, you know, and we talk about that all the time, just deciding you're going to do it. Okay. So I know that as a team, we kind of all teach one way, but that doesn't mean that every distributor has to do that. So I have a question for you. Do you message for distributors? Do you message for LCs? Do you message for HAPs? Like, what do you message at all? Like, what do you do as far as getting distributors and loyal customers? Because that's what we're here for, right? To get those 2 things in the system. So how do you do it?
I absolutely message. I have been so focused on Instagram, like throughout my entire business. Most of it does come from Instagram, but I've also done a lot on Facebook. I only message for HAPs on Facebook, and I've actually been bad. I've been the first to admit I've been super bad about it lately, but I send product model messages. I interact. I start conversations. I build relationships. I printed my entire Facebook list, and I went through every single person and messaged every single person on my Facebook list, whether it was to be a distributor. And if they didn't want to be a distributor, do you want the products? If they didn't want the products, they were posting a HAP. You get something out of everyone, or if they didn't mean anything to me, like if it wasn't a friend or something, and they weren't responding time after time, or I would just delete them. Like if I knew that nothing was going to come of it, bye. Which is so bad. But, you know, I'm trying to think what else. So it depends on what's going on. Like when we had this deal, I solely focused on distributors. But I definitely send product model messages. And then on Instagram, same thing. I know you're not supposed to kind of, what is the word? It's not judge, but I really do. I kind of look at their profile. Would they be good at this? It's just, I just gauge the conversation, where it's going. And then sometimes I'm sending product model messages. Sometimes I'm sending distributor messages. It just kind of depends, but I definitely flip flop and go back and forth.
Awesome. Yeah. I don't think that it's necessarily like a bad thing to judge. I was just listening to a Pam Souter podcast where she was like, literally write down right now the attributes that you want your team and your distributors to have. And then of course she elaborates on that, but just at that level, it's like, I mean, you can go through Instagram and Facebook profiles fairly quickly, and like judge is not the right word, but like pre-qualify people.
Yeah.
And like you may be right or wrong. Like you're not, like you might stumble across mine and be like, no way, I don't want that girl on my team. And you might have been wrong, but you know, you can't spend an hour analyzing every single person's Instagram, even though you as a green probably want to.
Yes.
But yeah, instead of judging, you're just kind of pre-qualifying.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like if you see somebody whose Instagram profile is just full of like, I don't know, like F-bombs and like middle fingers or whatever they're called. I sound like a grandma saying that, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's, you never know. They could end up becoming like the next ambassador diamond, but I don't personally want them on my team because that's not me. And so I know that I won't like jive with them well. So I love that. Okay. Let's move on. What is your follow-up method?
So again, I'm a green. I go through, and I'm actually, for being a green, my problem is that I'm always like trying to reinvent what I do, like how I like don't feel organized enough, which is awful. But if they give me like, oh, check back in a couple weeks, I get a date. I put that into my iPhone calendar so that I can look at follow-ups that are on specific dates. I also have my notebook, and I have PLC, PDT, HAPS, and then signed LCs. And I started writing down like what we were talking about. If there was a follow-up date, I'll put it on there, whether it was Facebook or Instagram, because sometimes I don't know and I get lost. But I try to keep track of it on different pages. And then as I go, I'll just keep writing like June or July. We're in July. So I'll just keep writing July, PLC. And kind of just as it keeps going, I'll just keep adding to my list. I probably need to better organize it as far as like maybe weeks or something, but I don't know.
And do you just like keep following up with people until they like get a restraining order on you, or what's your deal with that?
So I always am trying to message new people, and if there was somebody that seemed promising, yes, usually I'll like write a date in, or like I'll go back through probably June probably on Friday, I'll like go back through my June ones. I think I might have already done that. But towards the end of the month, I go through everything from April. And again, I know at some point that's going to get too big and fizzle out. But for now, I will go back and try to go through everybody. And it's funny because as I go through those people, I'll look at them and I'm like, oh, they signed as a DT with me. Oh, they signed as an LC with me. And I make sure to like cross them off. But you realize as you're going back through that, how many people actually signed with you.
Yep. I totally agree. I've done that. I do that too. And it's like, oh yes. Yeah. And you're just, highlighting them. I like to highlight because it's like, yeah, I got all these people. Like I'm actually doing this. Yes. I don't know if she's on here. I won't be embarrassed if she is because like it happened to her and me. So she already knows, but there is a friend of mine named Amy from high school. She's on our team. I messaged her last week and did a follow-up message to her. And she was like, I'm already on your team, Shelby. I was like, oh, Amy, I'm so sorry. I did not recognize your Instagram name. I was so embarrassed, but she's like, it's cool. And I was like, oh, okay. I need to make sure I'm highlighting when I follow up and actually sign people. Noted. Okay. What question are we on? Oh, I like this question. All right. In the final days, like, I think it was like the last 2 days, maybe of going diamond. So just last month, like on the 28th, 29th or whatever, you still needed like 2,000 or 1,800 in volume or something. And like, we all knew it was going to happen, but, we were just waiting for you to be announced. And, but you still needed that 1,800 or 2,000 or whatever. So what tips do you have for everybody to pull in that last minute volume? I know it was a team effort, so make sure you share a little bit of that too, that you didn't just like, yeah, I'm going to go get that 1,800. Like you worked so closely with your rock stars, but like, what'd you guys actually do?
Well, and that's just it, is it's like you you definitely need to engage your team, and you guys are running together. And I just really kept communicating with everybody. And I think you just get so fired up towards the end of the month. Everyone was kind of running for a promotion. I had girls running for Emerald, Ruby. And so everyone was just, even if it was their $400 or $500, like they were excited. And so I just think the excitement and the pressure of it all, you just feed off each other. And it's funny because Rochelle's like, crazy things happen in those last, like, I don't know, 72 hours. And she nailed it. It's crazy. Just, I think, again, I just think the excitement, you just push, and it just fell into, I don't know, it just worked.
Yeah, it's God. He's just like, I'm going to make you stress and work really hard, but then like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
One thing,
like,
one thing that I know you were doing when we were in Havasu is like, she was on her team, like in a good way. Like, okay, you guys have this many follow-ups. Like, I know you have all these people who are entered into the giveaway, like reach out to them. Do they want to add on, this? Do they want to add on that? And like, I remember that last day, Jess, you spent like 4 hours just talking with your team about upselling orders, and like talking with your team about like reaching out to like grandmas and grandpas and like anybody and everybody that would be willing to help you out. And your team came together and was seriously like, I didn't even think about them. Like, I didn't even think about that person. I didn't think about that person. And they just put orders in the system. And it was like incredible. I think you left Oregon with like 1,800. You got to Havasu with like 800 left. And then in 2 days, you did that 800 with your team. It was incredible to watch. And it was so exciting to see like your whole team come together.
Yeah, everyone kicks a major butt.
Oh, that's amazing. I have goosebumps hearing that. Yeah, I remember like going to bed and Rochelle saying that you had 1,800, and then waking up and she's just like, Jess only has 800. And I'm like, first of all, did you even go to sleep last night, Rochelle? And then second of all, how did she do that? But it's a team effort. It so is.
It is such a, and I'm, for anyone that's like trying to promote, or I'm sure anyone who's been through it or anyone that's going to go through it, it is like being on a roller coaster. You, again, I think you said at the beginning, you want to laugh 1 minute, you want to cry, you want to just go hide under your bed. Like, I was a mess.
I love it. Okay. What is your favorite self-development book or Audible? Like, what's your go-to or a book that you've just gotten so much out of it that you can recommend to everybody?
So yeah, Audible, because I don't read. I know we all say we're busy. I really am busy. There's no way. But the first go around, I listened to, what was it? What is that? Jen Sincero.
You are a badass. Yeah.
Yeah. And I liked it. And I actually tried to re-listen to it again just because I thought it would be good. But when I first started back up, listened to the Success Principles. I don't remember who that's by. It's a guy, Dale Carnegie. And
yeah.
Love it. Millionaire Mindset. Those are both amazing. And then I loop back around. I was apparently last to get on board with Get Over Your Damn Self. And I love it. As far as this business, yeah, I feel like it's a must. You learn so much about just prospecting and, getting, expanding your team and all of that. You learn so much. So I love it.
Jess, will you real quick repeat the names of the books? Success something?
The Success Principles.
By Dale Carnegie.
Yeah. Millionaire Mindset. And then Get Over Your Damn Self.
Rochelle's putting them in the chat. Thank you, Rochelle. Yeah, it's funny because we tell all our newbies to go get Over Your Damn Self. And it's like an easy read because she's pretty, like casual, but it doesn't surprise me at all that your green self loves these books that are more like, I don't even know the word, but just kind of like systems, like it's systems, or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, instead of just like stories. And it's just fun. And, you know, that's a good point too, because, we can recommend self-development all day long that we loved, and other people are going to love it too, but you got to find something that works for you. And I shared this in, some Zoom sometime, I don't know, it might've been last week, where I looked in my, Audible library, and I have like 20 books that still have 3 hours left on them. And it's because I just like couldn't get through them. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to finish a book if you're not feeling it, you know, like, give it a shot. Don't just listen to 2 minutes of it. But if it's not for you, move on and find something else that's really going to draw you in and that you're really going to get something out of. And I actually heard something from Steph, we're best friends, from Stephanie Dunn. And she's like, Joel is he like listens front to back and soaks it all in. And she's like, I'm more of just like tidbits. Like, I like to get little pieces of things and then run with it, you know? So it made me feel, if the number one income earner saying that, I'm like, oh, phew, okay, I don't have to go like finish the last 3 hours of all 20 of these books. Like, because if Steph didn't, then I don't have to. But what the bottom line of all of that is, find something that works for you. And just enjoy what you're doing. And that goes for self-development and this whole business in general. Like, if you're not having a good time, then what are you doing? Like, figure out how you can make this business fun again, or you're going to kill yourself doing this and you're never going to get anywhere. Okay.
You nailed it. I think that is the biggest, like, that's one of the most important things. I think a lot of people kind of close themselves off and think, I'm just going to do this by themselves. And some are not as open to like being coachable and making new friends. And I feel like that makes the business, having other people within the business to lean on, is huge. And you exchange information, tips and tricks. And I just think it's so important to like kind of find a buddy, if that makes sense.
Yes. A buddy, an accountability partner, or even just someone that you can have like a group, not even a group chat, like a PM with, where you can like go vent to them or go ask them questions, and it might not be your enroller. It might be somebody that you just like met at green carpet or at a try it, or that you just like see their post and you're like, gosh, I love this girl, I'm going to reach out to her. I know personally that if I didn't have a couple of the group chats that I have right now, that I would not be here today. I can promise you that. I am a very social person. I need to feel like I belong. I think we all need to feel like we belong, but
aren't you a blue also?
Yes, I'm a blue. I'm a blue. So like, I need to just feel like I'm part of something. And so these chats have like made me like who I am and where I am today. So yeah, I love
Shelby,
that. Yes,
can I
ma'am.
add something really quick about Jess that she's not going to share because she doesn't know it? So,
yes.
No, it's good. I promise. It's just like, because she's my best friend, I knew her before she started the business the first time, and I knew her before she started the business the second time. So something that I see that she might not even notice is like, when she first started, she had a corporate job. She knew that that was what made her money, and she made great money doing it. And then when she started this, it was kind of like, this is just fun. This is just extra. It wasn't something that she was like all in, make or break, I got to do this. She was more of the blue, like, I'm just doing this for the fun. Came to Florida with us, like that kind of thing. Then when she joined the second time, and I think you shared this, hopefully you don't mind me sharing this, but she was laid off from that corporate job after like 10 plus years, I think. So for her, she automatically shifted into a business owner mindset of like, I'm done with the corporate world. I'm going my own route. She went to school. She got her lash artist stuff going. And then all of a sudden, her mind developed into wanting to do this. So I think a lot of the times we're so hard on ourselves of like, why am I not taking off? Why am I not doing this? And Jess didn't even know that she didn't yet have the mindset of a business owner yet. And until that happened for her, and now she came back and just like skyrocketed, because she knew that she was going to do whatever it took to get to get to where she wanted to be. And that's exactly what she's done. So if you're watching this and you're kind of thinking like, you know, I've started before and this is my second time, or, you know, why is this not clicking? Like, ask yourself. She even admitted, like, that first book that I had her on, You Are a Badass, like right now, that's actually too green for her. Like, that's too, she's above that. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but what I mean is like, she's more advanced than like a new distributor would be. Instead, she's already got her own business. So something like Millionaire Mindset is exactly what she needed to like push through the top. So just ask yourself, whatever you're reading, is it pushing you? Is it truly pushing you to be better? And I think that is what, it wasn't like one thing that like made her successful this time. I think it was just, she was ready to like do whatever it took to be successful.
That was gold. I feel like every time Rochelle talks, I need to like stand up and give her an applause, because I'm always just like, yes, thank you. Thank you, Rochelle. Okay, so last thing, Jess, is just give us one last golden nugget, one tip, whatever it is that you want to share with us.
Oh, so the one thing I'm going to say is, if you are struggling in your business or you're not getting where you want to be, are you looking back and really like, are you doing the work? Because there's a lot, and I'm guilty of this. There's a lot of, let me check my numbers. Let me check my numbers. If you are not working, those numbers are not going to change. So you need to be the one working. You need to be the one pushing. If you are, you know, I haven't signed anyone in 3 weeks. Okay, well, go look at your notes from when you were and look at the difference, because it's probably a night and day difference. Are you doing your self-development? All of those. Kind of do some self-analyzing.
That's so good. Yep. Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Like, let me just go rechart. And it's like, well, are there any new distributors? Like, what are you recharting? Are you just drawing new lines? Like, what's happening? Thank you so much, Jess. This was amazing. You are so inspiring, and the fact that you did this so quickly, and I can just see the like confidence like radiating off of you, and I love that so much, and I can't wait to squeeze you soon.
I know, a couple months.
Yay, I can't wait. So go ahead and mute yourself. We're going to move on to Miss Sydney. Sydney, unmute yourself if you can. Hello, girl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's hot here.
You're in Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, okay. It's hot in Arizona. Noted that I probably won't go there because it's hot enough here in Florida. So I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself outside of It Works world, how old you are, what you do, all of that fun stuff.
So I am actually like a baby. I'm only 19. Everyone is so shocked when they hear I'm only 19. And I used to be an interior designer, but I worked alongside my boyfriend's mom and things got messy. So Rochelle reached out to me and I decided to do this, and I actually was able to replace my full-time income and quit in the beginning of June. So that was fun.
Okay, so you went diamond and then just like, bye, quit the interior design. I love it. Okay. This is getting juicy. Okay. So it took you exactly 90 days as well?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like exactly 3 months or so?
Yeah, I think it took, 3 months.
Awesome. Gosh. Oh my gosh, the chat is like blowing up of all these babies right alongside you.
I'm 19 too.
That's crazy. I didn't know there was so many babies on our team. I guess some of them might be sidelines, but 19 years old, that's so crazy. So you know what's really crazy to me is when I was 19, I was like a server at a restaurant. So even the fact that you had like a big girl job as an interior designer, that's like kind of beyond me, because I just wasn't there. And you know what else I see? This is so off topic, you guys, but I see all these babies, quote unquote babies, and It Works, and they're all like promoting and like living the dream and like not having debt for college and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, that is not what I was doing when I was 19 years old. I am so proud of these girls. But that's off topic. So let's move right along. So it took you 3 months or so to go diamond. So I want to know a little bit about what your day looks like and how you incorporate it works into it. So like, obviously this is your full time, this is what you do, but are you the type of person that like spends your whole day on your phone and you're just like interacting all the time and adding all the time? Or do you do power hours and then make sure your phone free for a while? Like, what's your style?
So I actually have a heart problem that causes extreme headaches, so I can't be on my phone for just hours on end. So what I do that actually really helps is I take Rochelle's 6 list. I cannot live without her 6 list. Right when I wake up, I do my self-development because it completely changes your whole day. Like, if you wake up in a really bad mood for some reason, because we're girls and that just happens, self-development completely takes me out of it. And then I like to break up. Like, I'm going to message 25 people on Instagram this half hour and then get off for a bit, because it usually only takes about 15 minutes to really dig deep and message people. And then the next half hour I'll do it on Facebook and just kind of go back and forth throughout the day. And that really helps me, because I'm not the type of person that can just sit there and like stare at their phone and do everything. I'll go crazy.
Yeah. So I love that kind of like routine that you have down, but are you like strict about it? Or is it just kind of like, okay, so I'm doing my self-development and then I'm going to go ahead and bust out 25. And then you're like, and at 12 p.m. I'm going to do 25 more. Or is it just kind of like you go through your day and make sure that you're getting your 6 list done, but it doesn't really matter what time it is?
I basically go just with my day, because my life is I do stay at home most of the time, so I'm not like that busy. I don't have children yet, so I can pretty much do whatever I want. But I like to take breaks, and I can't be too tight on a schedule, because if I miss it, I'm the type of person that I will like completely beat myself up over it. So I just have to know, like, I'm going to go through just go. And when I remember, I usually set alarms, but some like the 25-minute reminder, not an alarm, because I don't actually pay attention to time. But if it's 10 o'clock at night and I haven't finished it, I'm going to stay up until I finish it.
Oh, that's so good. We always say that too. Like, can you lay your head down on your pillow and feel like you did everything you were supposed to do that day? Or whatever you did today, would you be happy if that's what your team did today? Right. So love that. I saw somebody ask you in the chats what your message is, and Rochelle went ahead and answered them. She put it in the chats for us. So thank you, Rochelle. All right, let's move right along. Okay. Do you utilize mostly Facebook, mostly Instagram, or do you do a nice mix of both? Or are you just like, I don't even do social media, I do my own thing?
So I have to do everything social media because I'm a very awkward, shy person. So I did Facebook for, I think, like 2 months straight, and then it just kind of started dying down. So now I'm doing mainly Instagram, but I still go back and forth to Facebook, but I do put Instagram at like the top. And eventually I'll do both equally, but right now I like to kind of just focus on one or the other. Makes it easier for me.
That's pretty cool. So is there like a rhyme or reason to it? Or are you just like, this week I'm going to focus here, or this month I'm going to focus here? Or is it just kind of like random, whatever you're feeling?
It's kind of just whatever I'm feeling. I know I was doing Facebook and I was getting like a lot out of it, and then it just stopped. So I talked to Rochelle and she was like, well, you haven't posted on Instagram in like months. So I went over and started posting, and I automatically started getting like 150 likes on photos and stuff. So I was like, it's more towards that now. And it kind of just goes with what people are doing.
Cool. I love that. I'm just like thinking in my head, that's really cool. 'Cause I always feel like I enjoy working on both Facebook and Instagram, and I've just kind of honed in on how it works for me, how I can really handle both of them at the same time and be able to utilize both of them. But sometimes you do feel that pressure because they're different. They're so different, right? It's not just necessarily sharing the same content across both. Like they are two different platforms. So sometimes I do feel that pressure of like having to do a lot, like getting it all in. But so it's just interesting to me that sometimes you'll just flip flop it. That's pretty cool. Rochelle, I see the chat's kind of blowing up, so I'm just going to trust that you're taking care of that. Thank you. Okay. On to the next. What question do we do? Okay. Where and how do you find new people, new potentials, new prospects, whatever you want to call them? And then how do you go about introducing the products or the business to them? So, I mean, obviously some people will come right to you and ask you, right? That's like ideal situation right there. But if people aren't just coming right to you, or maybe they're not voting on your polls or whatever, how are you introducing this opportunity and products to them?
So for a while, just because I got kind of lazy, like I'm not going to lie, that's what happens sometimes. I got lazy and I would follow people and then cold message them. And it was like really bad messages back to me. So now I started reading a book, Leadership, and I'm following people more my age because I was just following anyone and everyone. And now I'm trying to focus on people my age. And when I follow them, I like to go through their photos and see what we have in common and try to build a connection with them. So if they love to travel, I'm like, hey, I saw you love to travel. Where are your favorite places? And then I build a connection with them and ask them, so what do you do for work? And then that's kind of how we get into the conversation.
That is gold, Sydney. It's so good. Here's why, you guys. Like, it's so much quicker to follow, message, right? But there's something missing to it. There's a missing link. And if you take just a little bit more time to get to know this person and, interact with them and become their friend, their online friend, then it's more likely that they're going to purchase from you or join your team. It's like people buy you before they buy into the product or the business. And so if you just go the extra mile, then, I mean, we always say it's a numbers game, but if you go the extra mile, it's more about quality and less about quantity. So it takes a little bit more time, but your success rate is going to be so much better. Because like if Sydney reached out to me and was like, hey, you love traveling, where do you like to go? I'll be like, oh my gosh, who is this girl? She's so cute and she wants to know like what's going on with me. I'm going to tell her. And then I tell her, and then she, we're going back and forth. Now I like her. She's not just a face. She's not just like an Instagram follower or whatever. So then I see her post about her business opportunity and how she's making money from home. I'm more likely to reach out to her. I'm going to mute everybody real quick. Hold on. I'm more likely to reach out to her because I feel like we have a connection. So go the extra mile, you guys. Even if it feels like it takes more time, I promise you, you're going to sign more distributors and loyal customers if you do that. I had something else that I wanted to add on to that, but I can't remember. Maybe I'll remember in a minute. Okay, so tell us. Okay, yeah. So this kind of goes, and we talked about this earlier, but you can go into as little or as much of this as you want. But in your month of promoting, and probably even before that, but just from what I know of your story, the month that you promoted, the devil was like beating you down. Like things were coming in left and right, and these just weren't like you stubbed your toe and like you got locked out of your house. Like things were happening in your life. The devil was messing with you hard. So tell us how you stayed motivated during these like very trying things in your life. And not only did you stay motivated, but you like overcame. You just like punched the devil in the face. You're like, sorry, not today, buddy. Talk about that a little bit with us.
So the month that I promoted, I am not a bad driver, I promise, but I got in 2 car accidents in 1 month. The first one I got rear-ended. The second one was my mom's fault, but I ended up getting a super bad concussion from it and was told to kind of stay off my phone. I don't listen to doctors ever. And then, so I still was doing me. And then my dad got in an accident with his job and fell 20 feet off of a roof. So as Rochelle knows, we were in the hospital, and I'm a very emotional person. So it took everything in me not to just like want to quit and be like done. And like, obviously this is not meant for me. But instead I hopped on a Zoom, and I really found that everything around me was so chaotic and it was just tearing me down, that I realized if I just threw myself into the business, it kind of all blacked out and I could deal with it another day. Like, that's always going to be going on, but promotion month, you got to go. So yeah, while at the hospital and the ER, I was just on a Zoom listening to the team, and Rochelle was like sending me messages about like lifting me up. And I really just kind of put like blinders on and just focused everything into the team. And it made it a lot easier to not have to worry about like everything that was going on with my dad, because I do have other people like my boyfriend and my mom that were supporting me. So it was almost easier just to forget about them and really dive deep. And I did not sleep. It's all I did. Even at work, I called days off because I did still have my job then. I would call off work and be like, sorry, I'm not feeling good. And I would just spend hours on hours working. And so it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Yes, Satan was trying to knock me down, but God does find the good in everything. And I was able to just completely pour everything into the business.
That's so inspiring. That's amazing. I mean, I know personally that there's been a few times in my business where just crap was hitting the fan left and right. And you have to make a decision. Like you can like feel sorry for yourself or feel overwhelmed or overcome by this and that. Or you can just like decide that you're just going to push forward and just do it, you know? And so you took like a couple of like devastating situations and just, you know, created an opportunity out of it, where a lot of us, including maybe even myself, like it's hard to say, would have, you know, sat around in that hospital and felt sorry for yourself, you know, when you were on your phone working instead. So you were sitting there probably on your phone no matter what, but you're either like mindlessly scrolling through Facebook, feeling sorry for yourself, waiting to hear like what's going on with your dad, or you're working and you're, you know, you're about to promote, you're about to earn $10,000, that, you know, all that stuff. So it's just so inspiring that you pushed through during a really difficult month. So proud of you, girl. That's amazing.
I have been on both sides though. I last month was in the hospital for my heart, and I completely did the opposite. I was like, nope, I'm going to be sorry for myself. I'm allowed to sit in this hospital for a week and not do anything. And it does make it harder. And I don't know what changed in my brain. Like if it was just that so much went down with, like I almost saw my dad die in the ER, that I think it was just like system overload that I only could focus on this. But then when it was like my own life, not to be selfish, when it was my own life, I was a little more like, I deserve this break. I'm pushing myself too hard. I haven't slept in days being in this hospital. I'm just going to willow. But then Rochelle did like kick my butt into gear, and she goes, are you willing to lose this? Like all these hospital bills are in your name. Like, is this what you want to do? And the whole reason I joined this was I never, ever want to be in debt. Like I don't want to be that person that is 30 and living with a husband and has kids and has a bunch of debt. Like, and no offense to anybody that does have that. I hope I didn't offend anyone saying that.
No, you're good, girl. I just have to say that anybody on this Zoom, next time you are feeling like crap and you don't want to work, just shoot me a quick PM and I'll get Rochelle on your butt, because she doesn't care what's going on in your life. She's going to tell you to get to work.
Oh, I do have something to add here, because Sydney's being super modest. Like the stuff that she went through with promotion, you guys, it was eating her alive. And the only thing that she could focus on is like talking to me and like me helping her work through this. Now, what I think a lot of us do when we're on these Zooms, and Sydney, I'm not talking about you specifically, but like I think what a lot of us do is like we like to just say, we just did it. Like we just got it done, right? Like I don't know, it was just promotion month and we did it. But what we fail to say sometimes is like, we were on the floor bawling our eyes out. Like, I don't think I can do this. And like, oh my gosh, $10,000 is on the line and my dad's in the hospital and there's something wrong with my heart and the doctors are telling me they don't know what it is and I can't even breathe. What am I supposed to do? Like, this is Sydney, and I hope that it's okay that I'm sharing this. But my point is, like, you know, sometimes you are allowed that break. And like, sometimes, like I did, I'll admit, I even told Sydney, I'm like, sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes you need to step back and take a break. For God's sake, you were in the hospital. Like, I wasn't sitting there while you were in the hospital, like, you better be working. But I was saying, like, what do you need from me right now? What do you need? Do you need, you know, we sent her flowers. She believes in God. So we gave her, like my favorite verse on her flower. I knew what she needed right then. You know, it wasn't me saying like, you better get to work. It was, I'm here for you, whatever you need. And she was coming to me saying, I need this. Like, I need this. What do I do? And so leaders, watch your team, make sure that they know, like, or make sure that you know what they need, because that is something that I lack. That is something that as a red, I will tell you, like, stop the excuses, just get to work. But that's a bad quality sometimes. And I myself have to step back and be like, what does this girl need from me? Because I need to be a friend and I need to be a mentor and I need to, you know, be there for her in this time. And this goes for everybody on my team. But my point is just like, it's so easy for us to say like, I just like, you know, had no excuses and I got it done. But if you're going for a promotion, what I want you to know is like during that promotion month, even Jess, 2 days before she promoted, she came to Havasu and she was like, I don't know, Rochelle. Like, I'm here, I made it, but like, I don't know. I just like, I kind of want to enjoy myself. Like, I don't know. And it wasn't like she was giving up. It wasn't that she was giving up. It's scary. It's scary, guys. There's sometimes where you work so hard for something and sometimes it's so easy to be like, well, I work so hard, but like, I mean, like if I do it like a couple days before, maybe I'll just do it next month. Like I'll just make the excuses now before it happens so that I can be like, yeah, I was only this far away. So next month it'll be easy. Like we tell ourselves all of these things because we're scared, because we've worked so hard for them. So just remember that, like, reach out. You guys, I am not like Superwoman. Trust me. I cry like every other day. This is a new thing. I don't know what's happening. Like I cry like every other day. And I come to Ashley and Shelby and I'm like, what am I, what am I made for? Am I worthy of this? Am I this? You guys, we all have these same scaredness. I don't even know what the word is. Like we all go through these things. So don't look at me or Shelby or Sydney or Jess, all of us that are talking on this call, and be like, yeah, but they just got it done. We struggled too, but we reached out when we needed it. And I think that's the biggest thing is like, when you feel yourself like, I don't think I can do this, instead of crying, I mean, you can cry because it's okay to cry, but like, instead of like, feeling defeated, reach out, reach up, reach side to side, wherever you need to, and just say, I need to be poured into. I don't even know what I need, but here's what's happening in my life. And I want this so bad, but I don't know where to start. And whoever that is going to be your friend. They're going to be there for you. Like, make sure it's the people that are going to be there. Like, I know at any time I can go to Shelby and Ashley or any of my friends and just be like, this is what I need. And it's like, it's funny because sometimes you know what you need and you need to tell them. Like, I don't want you to say I told you so. I just want you to like kick my butt into gear. And just, I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with this, but my point is like, sometimes we don't show the struggles. And I think it's really important to show them, because you might be in that struggle right now where you're like, well, I just am not at a point where I can like drop all the excuses and get it done. And maybe this call is exactly what you needed to drop all those excuses and be like, you know what? Rochelle has struggles too. And Shelby has struggles too, but it's what you do with those struggles every single day. And it's who you reach out to that can really, like Jess said, latch onto somebody. So hopefully that spoke to someone.
And I do want to, like, last month was one of my hardest months, and Rochelle knows, Shelby knows, everyone knows. It was my hardest month just because I was very sick and nobody was giving me answers. So it was very easy for me to get mad and just be like, I'm taking this break, I'm not doing it. But then when I got out, there were some days where I seriously didn't do anything, and then I'd tell Rochelle, no one's messaging me. And she'd be like, okay, well, how many people did you message? I was like, well, none. Like, they didn't message me from the day before. But she's not a hard ass all the time at all. Sorry.
Yes, she is.
But she does know, like, we talk every day, and that's why, like she said, it is important to find someone that you can latch onto, and I did that with her, because we talk every day to where she does know me. And a few weeks after the hospital, she kind of could feel me out and realize I was stable enough, and she voice messaged me and was like, okay, time to get back on this. Like, are you willing to lose everything you just worked for? And I was like, no. She goes, okay, let's go. So she gave me that kick, and that's why it is super important to latch on to someone who knows you and is willing to, like, be real with you and not kind of be, my mom calls it fluffy with you, and kind of like fluff everything around you.
So good. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Sid, so tell us what your favorite self-development is.
My favorite book was, I love doing audibles just because I hate reading. I really do. I hated it in school, still hate it. So I always do, You Are a Badass was one of my favorites, and then All In. That one just really spoke to me because I am a Christian, so it was easier for me to relate what he was saying to my life. So those are my two favorite. I can look up.
Do you know who the author is of that one? I'm going to go look really quick.
Let me look. I have it right here.
I've never heard of that one, but I want it. Yeah.
I'll type it in here for everyone.
Thank you. Ooh, can't wait. I got so many books to read, but oh yeah, I typed it in and I'm getting little yachty music videos, whoever that is. So yeah, go ahead and type the author in there. And then when you're done doing that, go ahead and tell us just one last golden nugget tip that you have for the whole group.
So Rochelle and I were actually talking about this yesterday. This is more on how to handle this business with families. I have my parents, but I don't have kids. But my biggest thing was my boyfriend and I kept getting into fights because I would always be on my phone, but I always felt really guilty if I didn't answer people right away. And it's honestly okay to just take an hour and spend time with your kids or your husband or boyfriend and not miss out on everything, because that's the reason why most of us are doing this business, so we don't have to miss out with our kids, or we can travel the world with our husbands and stuff like that. So my biggest thing is, like, biggest tip is don't feel bad about having to, like, put your phone away and answer a client an hour or 2 hours later because you want to read your kid a bedtime story and put them to sleep, or you want to go to dinner with your boyfriend. Like, the client's going to be there later. So that would be my biggest tip.
That's like a golden nugget of a tip for sure, because I think that that's something that a lot of us struggle with, and that honestly, you being like in a new leadership rank, the first leadership rank, knowing that already, and not knowing it already, but like knowing it and understanding it and actually doing it is huge, because I think for a lot of us, it takes us a long time to get there. And some of us aren't even there yet. You know, like, we feel like if we're not constantly on our phone, we're going to miss out on that distributor or miss out on that loyal customer. And I mean, I remember hearing people saying, like, they would wake up at like 2 a.m. in the morning just to check their phone and make sure they didn't miss anybody that was ready to order. And I was just like, what? Am I supposed to be doing that? Because I don't want to. But it's just cool that you learned it and are actually putting it into practice so soon. Like, what are we all here for? We're here for, of course, like, the money and what the money can pay for and do, but the freedom too. So if you're free from your 9 to 5, but you're connected to your phone 24/7, then the freedom isn't there, you know? So I love that you're just doing that already. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us, girlfriend. All of your stuff was so, so powerful and super inspiring. And I'm just so proud of you and Jess. This was an amazing Zoom. And honestly, you guys, we have like a handful of other brand new diamonds that we haven't interviewed yet. I keep trying to nail them down, and I can't get everybody as quickly as I want to, but we're going to keep on doing these, and people are going to keep on promoting. So I hope that you that everyone on here loved this and got something out of this, and just stay excited because we're going to continue, not weekly. We're going to mix it up on you, but at least once a month, have our new shiny diamonds jump on here and just share their golden nuggets with you, because this stuff is powerful and nobody got to diamond the same way. Nobody had the same journey. Nobody has the same story. So hearing this stuff is just like, yes, it's powerful stuff. So thank you guys for all jumping on tonight. And this was recorded, so I'll be sure to share this in the team page and make sure that Fair's team gets a hold of it too. Love you guys, and I hope you all have a great night.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Thanks, Sydney and Jess and Rochelle.